personally, I always suggest people to not, or brands to not name names in your text prompt, to not use a reference image that you don't have rights to or consent to.
Sometimes we don't know under the hood
Yes.
of those tools.
Right.
And then we're using it without even knowing and push alive. How we can balance this ethical aspect with the, be able to continue producing things?
Yes,
because
yes,
you're not going to
yes.
read all the terms and conditions, and also you don't know how
Right.
the models are trained.
Right. So I think that is such a great question, and that I have always been kind of sort of shifting the narrative by not focusing on how the models developed, but more so on like how we as end users or brands are adopting these tools responsibly and setting a sort of a set of guidelines of how we can practice, responsible usage or use it as much as ethical as it can be. So personally, I always suggest people to not, or brands to not name names in your text prompt, to not use a reference image that you don't have rights to or consent to. And then always keep the human in the loop practice and always attribute it to individual creator who's resulting that output, because we still need a human to utilizing these tools. So you can always find a way to trace back or build a system, trace back exactly who's, credit or who's attributing in what. So those are sort of the practice I have been kind of advocating for, even though, nobody really know exactly what fair use at this point means for training side of training data set of purposes and how we develop these models, because all the legal lawsuits are still going on. There isn't really clear laws set in stone to help us understand what we can do. So I want to encourage people to, as people who are adopting the technology, like you said, we can't just stop not using anything because we do need to adopt. From that perspective, I encourage people to adopt the technology, use the technology responsibly, focusing on that.
So whenever I'm asking for create a Disney and Pixar character, I cannot use it then. Yeah, because sometimes I do like transform images into like Pixar characters. So then how can I adapt to don't put names into places but get the outcome I'm looking for?
Right. So you can, the quicker way to kind of work around it is, instead of saying in what movie, what character, and then just describe the type of style you want or describe the type of character, instead of specifically calling it you want Harry Potter. Yeah, like Harry Potter from the Harry Potter movie. And then that is wrong, because you're directly using somebody else's IP in a direct way. But if you want something looks like a Harry Potter, but maybe like you can describe a little kid wearing like glasses, something that's a similar, but it's not directly using somebody's IP.